What is up, fight fans? You're locked into the Silly Gilly Goose MMA show, where three UFC diehards, not experts, break down the fight game one card at a time. I'm Noah.
I'm Mason.
And I am still Connor.
Today, we got a lot of stuff to go over. We will be talking about recent fight news we got this week, followed by the breakdown of the card last night. And to finish off the show, we're each going to give our dream White House card and our dream all-time White House card. Let's get into it, boys.
Let's do it.
Fight news. Moreno versus Kavanaugh is booked for the main event of the UFC Mexico card now. What is our initial thoughts on this fight, Mason?
I'm excited for this fight. It's gonna be a good fight between a veteran and a up and coming fighter. Yeah, really excited for this fight.
Connor?
I'd like to see I like Kavanaugh. He's a great prospect. I'd like to see if he's able to do anything to Moreno. It'd be really telling to see if he's ready for the rankings or not. So how about
Yeah, it's a good bounce back fight for Kavanaugh. It's a big jump up into the rankings. He's coming off a loss against Charles Johnson, who was also looked at as a replacement for this fight. But he will be replacing Kavanaugh in a fight against Bruno Silva 2 weeks later. Well, it will be a good test for Kavanaugh. See how he can compete against a guy that's a natural top five.
Yeah, I do think that he will put up a better fight than Charles Johnson would have, because I think people forget that he was beating the hell out of Charles Johnson before that KO. Like, it wasn't even close. And he puts his arms down for a second, got a little tired, and Charles made him pay for it. But I think he puts up a good enough fight, but I still see him getting finished. How about you guys? How do you see it going?
If I'm gonna give my prediction, I think it's gonna go to decision, which might be a hot take, but we'll see when we get there. We still got a little bit of ways away till that fight comes up, but I am very excited for this fight.
Yeah, I also think that Moreno will probably get the job done before the 5 rounds end. Other than that, we have also the UFC London card was given to us. We have a number one contender fight. We got Movsar Evloev versus Lerone Murphy. What's your guys' initial thoughts on this one?
Yeah, another fight I'm very excited for. Two undefeated guys. Winner surely is going to get a title shot. I'm excited.
I'm more excited for the result of this fight than the actual fight itself. I don't think it's going to be anything really interesting. I think we're just going to see Movsar do what he typically does. And I think he's just going to wrestle his way to a 50-45, possibly a 50-44 decision. So I'm just excited to see the result and see the direction the featherweight division is going to move forward. How about you, Noah?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a challenge for both. Like we said, none of them have lost. Mavzar's been on a long layoff, so we'll see if Lerone has the momentum behind him after that big win at 319. So I'm not ever going to count out Lerone, especially in his home country. This whole card's a banger, though. We have a lot of good matchups.
Yeah, they just dropped a whole boatload of bangers on us out of nowhere.
A lot of prospects.
Yeah, a lot of. Speaking of prospects, Luke Riley in his second UFC fight looks like he's going to be getting the co-main, the hometown kid. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if he really deserved the co-main with fighters on the card like Michael Venom Page, but he is the co-main, and hopefully he can get it done in his home country.
Yeah, I would have thought Michael Page and Sam Patterson would have been the co-main as well, both being from England, and it's in London. Just thought that would have been the perfect way to do it. But Luke Riley's a great prospect against another great prospect, Michael Aswell. He's been in some dog fights, just absolute bangers every time that man steps in the octagon. So that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, these guys are definitely going to be throwing on their feet majority of the fight if it lasts long. I don't know if it will, though.
Which fight are you guys most looking forward to on this card? Noah, you first.
I gotta say, Nathaniel Wood versus Lazine Kita is going to be a absolute banger. Nathaniel
That's the one you're looking most forward to, huh?
Yeah, Nathaniel Wood's on a big win streak, fighting in his hometown or home country. He's got 5 wins in a row. Keep it going against a hot prospect in Lazine Kita that's getting his first fight finally after blowing weight against when he was supposed to fight Pitbull last year.
Yeah, it'd be great to see his much anticipated debut. And against an English person in London, it'll be tough. So his back's really against the wall on this one. I'm gonna be basic and just say the Michael Venom Page and Sam Patterson. I think it's just gonna be great. I expect Sam Patterson to just try to grapple with Michael Venom Page. We've seen that's the only way to successfully defeat Michael Venom Page. But I'm hoping that they throw because Michael Venom Page is my favorite striker in the UFC.
I think I would say Mobstar and Larone, like you said earlier, Connor, just for the result. But I think this
Okay.
Delitze Duncan fight might be good. Delitze is coming off a loss. Don't want to get too deep into it because obviously we're going to talk about it. But yeah, I think that's going to be a good fight. I think Delitze might uh, have a tough fight because Duncan's upcoming fighter. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And we also have the legend himself, Iwo Baranowski, returning for his second UFC fight against Austin Lane after his insane debut against Ivo Aslan in one of the craziest fights we have ever seen in UFC history.
Yeah, this may be another fun one. These guys are both going to throw right out of the gate. I'm excited to see how Evo does. We also got a huge fight with Mason Jones and Axel Solo. That's going to be a banger as well. Mason Jones always puts on fun fights.
Yeah, Mason Jones with his second stint in the UFC, coming off that win to what was his name? Forgot his name.
Balaji Oki?
Oh, see, I forgot he had that fight with Pelagioki. My bad. I was thinking of Jeremy Stevens. Oh, this is his third UFC fight with his second stint back in the UFC. My bad, folks.
Yeah,
But we'll break down that card on another day.
I would just like to say one more fight on that card that I'm really excited about. Mario Pinto versus number 13 Mick Parkins. That will be a fun fight to shake up the heavyweight division.
Yeah, heavyweight needs a prospect badly. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
All right, next thing in fight news, let's get into the upsetting news. Shavkat Rakhmonov will be out another 9 to 10 months, and the UFC had just decided to take him out of the rankings. What is our initial thoughts on this, Mason?
Uh, Devastated is one word that I can put into it. I love Shavkat, and I think that this stint that he's going to have while he's coming off an injury could be rough, especially if he doesn't come back the same. He's an exciting fighter, and I think that he does deserve to not be in the rankings just because he hasn't fought in a while, and then coming off another injury. So we'll see how he heals up. But I think that he could come back better and, contend for a title shot again.
I'm happy. I'm kind of happy they took him out of the rankings. It makes sense. It sucks that he's gonna be out for a while because he is, a fan favorite and he's great to watch every time he steps in there. So yeah, it'll be nice to see what they do moving forward. I have no clue what they're gonna do with the top five now, so I'm just waiting to see how that's gonna play out. How about you, Noah?
Yeah, it's sad to see him get taken out of the rankings because you have other guys in the rankings like Kobe Covington that hasn't fought in the same amount of time, and he's still sitting there at the bottom of the rankings. But
Yeah.
another 9 months out for Shavkat. It's good to get the division going. Hopefully, they start getting some fights put together. What fights would you guys like to see at this weight? Because man, 170 is super exciting at the top.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights that you can make just because the division runs so deep. And that top five is just insane. Starting with, the title fight, you could do either, Morales or a lot of people want Usman to fight, but there's a lot that you can do just because, that top five is insane. But we'll see what Dana does and what the matchmakers do with that.
Dana or Hunter? Heard that Dana's given up on all the. Sounds like Dana's all done with the booking fights and is kind of just sitting back, letting his matchmakers, Sean Shelby, Hunter Campbell, run the show. Connor, who do you think gets this next title fight at 170?
Um, who I think it is, I think it's gonna be Michael Morales, but I want it to be Kamaru Usman. I think Morales makes a lot more sense, but I think Usman getting it would just be better just for the fans. I think just for a legacy fight, and just Usman's getting up there in age, going to be retiring soon. It'd be nice to just see him fight Islam Makhachev of all people too. So I don't know. How about Noah?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think you gotta give one of these young, hungry guys the title fight. Michael Morales, undefeated striker. I think that he poses the biggest threat to Islam because he is huge in size, and Islam coming up from 155. I mean, but Ian Gary would be a fun fight too. I think Ian Gary only lost is the Shavkat, who's not in the rankings anymore, and he just beat former champ Bilal Muhammad. So I think you give it to any any of the three guys that we said. Usman would be deserving of the legacy fight as well, I believe.
Let's go. Even Carlos Prates has a case as well, being the first guy to knock out Leon Edwards in the UFC, who was also a former champion as well. Mason.
And going to our champ Islam, do you guys think that he'll be a long-term champ? I think that I truly think he will be. I love Islam and I think he's a great fighter, but do you guys think that you could see him being the welterweight champ for a few more years, or how do you guys think that's going to pan out with all these amazing fighters we got in the welterweight division?
I think with the way it's set up, if Islam does successfully hold his title through to the end of this year, he will easily be fighter of the year because he's going to have to face some absolute killers to be able to hold on to that belt this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a lot behind him that are coming for him. If he is able to keep the title for long term, Islam is going to cement himself as one of, if not the UFC GOAT.
And I think the one problem facing Islam is you look at all these fighters in, the top 5 to top 10, they're all like amazing strikers, Gary, Morales, Prates, like all of these guys are amazing strikers. We did see him, lay the hammer down on JDM, but I think that might be a problem for Islam. We'll see if his chin can hold up, especially if he's going to fight people like, Morales or Prates. But yeah, I'm excited to see how they shake up the welterweight division. There's a lot of good matchups that they can make.
All right, let's get into the breakdown of what we got last night. What is our initial thoughts from Fight Night, Oliveira versus Batista? Connor?
Initial thoughts: card was about a 5 out of 10. Started off hot, died out. The flame died out really quickly, and just nothing really interesting. Mario Batista had a great fight, and yeah. How about you, Mason?
Yeah, those first 3 fights were actually pretty good. Actually, no, the first 4 fights were really good. But I agree. I'd have to give it like a 5 out of 10 if I was gonna rate it on a scale. Just didn't really see much after those first 4 fights. Uh, after the Souza and Brazil fight, that fight was kind of a snooze fest. But like those 4 fights before were amazing. Saw a great debut by Gianni Vasquez. But yeah, it was super underwhelming.
Yeah, initial thoughts. The start of the night, we were looking like we were going to have a fun, exciting night, and towards the end of the night, I feel like there was too many one-sided fights that we weren't getting really great matchups. I don't know how to explain, but that only fight after the first 3 or 4 fights that was really interesting was that Basharat Matsumoto split decision.
Yeah, Matsumoto, that was a really good fight. And that card, we saw a lot of fighters like taking over that first round, and then the second round, it kind of was a different fight. Like it really changed the complexion of the fights. Like the Gianni Vasquez fight and the Wang and Mora fight. But
Yeah,
yeah, like Noah said, those 3 to 4 fights were good, and then
let's
Matsumoto.
let's start from the bottom and go fight by fight to start to give our thoughts and breakdown of them. Starting with Segula versus Zombie Girl Cachoeira.
Personally, for me, I thought this was fight of the night here. These ladies came out throwing hot and heavy. And the first 2 rounds were pretty great. The last round they kind of slowed down as you would expect, but over what 260 combined significant strikes landed, 190 headshots total combined landed. These ladies were throwing. It was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I agree. That was an amazing fight, and that strike count was very, very shocking. Not like shocking, like I didn't think it was going to happen, but that was a lot of strikes thrown. And yeah, man, that was an amazing fight.
I think Segula started off strong. She was throwing multiple combos, and Cachoeira was throwing just single punches with a lot intent behind him. But Segula was throwing 2 to 3, and she was landing 1 or 2 of them every single time she threw. And then towards the end, she kind of started to feel a little bit tired. You could tell, and Cachoeira was starting to get it on her. And I feel like I feel like Segula showed that she definitely can compete with girls right there at the bottom to the rankings, like 15, 12 range. We can see her fighting soon.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree. She fought really good. She's a really good striker. Um, yeah, I mean I couldn't agree more. But that next fight, Wicklacz and Gafurov, I would say that was the fight of the night. Not only because of that silly gilly at the last second, but that was just a good fight. Gafurov was throwing, and Wicklacz had an amazing first round. I thought that was fight of the night. Connor, what are your thoughts on that?
I was so happy to see the first Silly Gilly of the year. It was awesome. All the boys were going hype in the Discord. And no, Jakob, excuse me, Jakob, he looks great. This was a great stylistic matchup, I thought. They were both really throwing in the first 2 rounds, and then Jakob kind of gassed out there in the third. And for some reason, Gafurov decided to shoot that takedown with a minute left, and then he gave Jakob that chance to land that silly gilly, and it was incredible. How about you, Noah? What were your thoughts?
Controversial, I would say. That's the word that's stuck in my head. At first, we didn't think that he got the submission, and that this was the first time that I've ever seen them go to video replay to call a submission. But Gavrov
Yes,
tapped. He tapped with 1 second left. I mean, you gotta.
yes,
He After the fight, he had sent out a post with Marab, and they said that he tapped because he heard the bell, and Jakob was still choking him out. But you got to keep going there. If you're not actually tapping, then don't tap, bro.
yeah. The replay showed us right there at the last second. His left hand tapped right before, and then he started using his right hand to like tap and push him off him. But that left hand did tap right before the bell.
Yeah, that was a great fight. Gafurov did really, really good at striking. He had some really good percentages with his total and significant strikes. But yeah, like just at that point, just don't tap. You know, it's the end of the round, but that costed him, and yeah, he looked really pissed off. I mean, I'd be pissed off too.
I think it was a really close fight. I mean, if the sub wasn't given to Whitclass, I feel like it could have gone either way. I kind of feel like Gafarov would have won if he didn't get. But later we were told that Whitclass would have even got the decision.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. That's the surprise of a lot of people. I think Wicklack still would have got the unanimous decision win on the score on the official scorecards that they released. Yeah. So either way, Jakob would have got the win, but I think it was the new scoring system has definitely been in full view, and we're seeing these new scorecards come out, and it's just I'm kind of liking the new scorecard system, the way they're scoring these fights now.
All right, next fight we had Wing Kong versus Edwara Mora.
Yeah, they were really going at it. I thought that Mora was out after that first round, and then like I said earlier, that second round, those she you know got it done almost at the end. We almost got another submission in the last second. I thought she had her, but yeah, good fight, Connor.
Yeah, no, I was just praising the new scoring system. One of those judges did give Wang Kong that second round when Mora had like 4 minutes of ground control time in that round. And I do like being scored off of damage, but Mora did, like you said, have her deep into that choke. So I don't know how any judge could have gave Wang Kong that second round, but no, it was exactly how I expected that fight to go. It was a striker versus grappler fight, you know?
And that was a ranked fight too, so that was kind of a big win for Kong. I hopefully get to see her get a ranked opponent soon. Yeah, great fight. No complaints on that one.
Yeah, I think Wayne Kong definitely showed that a lot of improvement from her first few fights in the UFC. She even had more in a deep choke at the end of the fight, showing a little
Yeah.
bit of her submission game.
Yeah, that was nice to
Let's
see her finally show off her wrestling because we've been, we know her striking's there, we know her speed's there. But for her to finally show off her wrestling is going to be really important for her to climb the rankings and get that title shot.
Yeah, and Mora actually was able to get those 3 takedowns on Kong too, which we never really saw before. So, yeah, good fight.
Next fight we had Javid Basharat, the first Basharat on the card versus short notice Yanni Vasquez. What was our initial thoughts on this, Mason?
Oh man, this was a really good fight. That first round, Basharat almost KO'd him. And then Vasquez had a good second round, and then that third round was kind of Basharat had a lot of control there. But yeah, that was honestly a really good fight. It was a good debut for Vasquez too. Connor, what are your thoughts on that?
I think if Vasquez had a full camp, I think he actually might have won this fight. Basharat's wrestling ended up being the ultimate deciding factor there in that third round. He was able to just secure that top position time to secure that third round. But I think Vasquez, had a little bit more stamina, a little more cardio. He might have been able to get a submission off his back. How about you, know?
Yeah, I think that Vasquez, the short notice, it plays a fact. I think Basharat showed that he fatigues out and kind of leaves his chin open after the second and third round. And Vasquez was definitely attacking that and got dropped him once. I mean, everyone thought this was going to be a blowout win for Basharat, but I think that Vasquez showed that he can compete with UFC talent. I mean, the only big thing I would say is show up on weight. Don't show him 5 pounds over.
Yeah, but they were saying that Vasquez was having problems with, traveling. And he said he wasn't really able to, like properly cut weight. But still though, like you gotta make weight. But he did step up. I thought he was gonna sub him. He's really good at jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt. I thought he had him. He had a few different submissions locked up, but Bashrat got it done at the end of the round, at the end of the third round. So, yeah, another good fight.
Taking us into Ketlin Souza versus Bruna Brazil, one of the more boring fights on the card. What's
Yeah.
your guys' thoughts on it?
Here's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on that fight. How about you guys?
Yeah, I can agree more. Ketlin Souza, I thought she could have had a knockout or a knockdown in there, but boring, like no other words to describe it. Next.
Yeah, and that's just been the story of Bruno Brazil's career. I don't know. I mean, I know she won her way back on the road to UFC, but man, at some point you just gotta cut ties with somebody.
Yeah, I thought she looked really good in the first round. She just, like I said with other fights, she gassed out. Ketlin Souza started putting it on her at the end. Bruno wins the first round, and Ketlin just kind of controlled from there.
Yeah, it wasn't much of anything really. Let's just move on to that next fight.
Which Nikolai Veretennikov is a dude. He put him out on his feet. What was your
Yeah,
guys' thought on this fight?
I was highly embarrassed because Nico Price was my golden goose, as most of you know. And yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. He definitely looked like he took the fight on 10 days notice. That's for sure.
Yeah, dog walked. I mean, that's the only thing I could say. To get knocked out on your feet too, I still think that Nico Price doesn't even know like where he's at right now. That was that was really good striking by Nikolai. Yeah, Noah, what were your thoughts on that fight?
Like it was very one-sided. I,
Nico Price
I
was landing a few good shots in there, but I don't know. I think he might have been hurt or something because he was just standing up there waiting for the knockout punch to come, like before he was even hurt. So
in the next fight we had Daniel Donchenko versus Alex Morono. What are your guys' thoughts on this one?
Another fight of the night contender for sure. Donchenko showing he belongs in the UFC still, or not still, but it belongs like, up at the higher level of the UFC after, his Ultimate Fighter win and then his first UFC win, now his second UFC win against a tough, tough vet. Morono had him hurt early, wasn't able to get the job done, but still got the 30-26. What were your guys' thoughts, Mason?
Yeah, Donchenko is a really good striker. He was in control the entire fight, and those calf kicks, man, were
Oof.
brutal. Brutal, man. I don't know how Morono was able to keep on his feet. That was just insane.
One word from Alex Morono: grit. What a gritty fighter. He was
Just,
eating
yeah.
calf kick after calf kick. My legs were hurting just watching. Donchenko's striking was on point. I think he'll get a big step up, but give Alex Morono his flowers. He stayed in there the whole time and didn't give up when a lot of guys would have gave up after all those leg kicks.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely kept thinking there was going to be a leg kick TKO in the Discord. We kept calling it, but it just never came.
and listen to this: 134 for 214 total strikes by Danchenko. I mean, that's just honestly a masterclass and amazing, amazing, amazing striking. I have to say it 3 times. Yeah, I mean, nothing much to say.
Next fight on the card, main card time. We had Dustin Jacoby versus our guy Julius Walker.
His wrestling was on point. Very good wrestling the first round. Those double legs were beautiful, like all caps, beautiful. But Justin Jacoby was just the better striker, and he got it done.
Yeah, the
Connor?
scorecards came out, and Julius Walker won the first round on all three scorecards. Very impressive. We saw him pick up Jacoby and hold him on his shoulder. That was insanely impressive. We've never seen anybody put Dustin Jacoby in a position like that in his UFC career, and that was really, really impressive to do. And we really thought he was about to just get his way to a unanimous decision win, but unfortunately, sometimes you just get caught, and Julius Walker got caught. How about you, Noah?
Yeah, it's tough. These guys were training partners. We heard on the broadcast. So fighting against former training partners, you kind of know how the fight may end up going. Julius looked great with his wrestling first round, some big takedowns. I think Justin Jacoby just showed that he's the stronger fighter on his feet. Like we said going into the pre-fight, Jacoby was number 2 in the world in glory kickboxing. Potan Pereira even gave him his flowers after the fight.
Yeah, Justin Jacoby also taking this fight on short notice as well, and just looking great on short notice. Wow.
I think Julius Walker will bounce back good. He's only 26. Dustin Jacoby's a killer. He's right there at the bottom of the rankings, or is about to get himself in the rankings. I think he sees himself in a top 15 matchups the next time he's out there.
100%.
Yeah, like you're saying, I think his wrestling will be a big advantage in his fights. Just got to get better with the striking. I mean, there was really not a lot of chances for him to strike because he, that round 2 knockout. But yeah, I mean, give him his flowers. But amazing striking by Jacoby. Heavy punches, heavy kicks. I like seeing it.
Next fight, we had a split decision that a lot of people were saying was not the right decision. We had Farid Basharat, the second Basharat brother, on the card versus Gene Masamoto. What were your guys' What's your guys' thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, this was a good fight. I think that yeah, it's controversial, but I think Bashrat got it done. But Matsumoto, he had some good takedowns, really good takedown percentage. I think that both of these fighters have very bright futures in the UFC. Bashrat 15-0 now for a professional record. And yeah, I think you got to get Bashrat somebody close to the rankings for his next fight. Yeah, good fight.
Yeah, I don't agree with the split decision. I thought Bashrat got it done pretty convincingly. I even personally had it 30-27 Bashrat, which I know is crazy, but Now Matsumoto was just throwing a lot of punches that weren't landing, and the percentages show that on the fight. And yeah, I don't think he was really doing much to Basharat besides those takedowns. And when he would get a takedown, Basharat wasn't really letting him do anything with it. How about you know?
That third round by Matsumoto, he actually finally started showing some striking. If that striking that he was showing in the third round was there a little bit earlier, he would have got his decision. I think it was a good call. Basharat won that fight, showed how he's got some elite striking, was throwing some spinning attacks and everything. But yeah, I mean, give Basharat a ranked opponent next. He's 15-0. Let's go into the next fight. We had Mikhail Oachechek versus Marc-Andre Barriault. The fight of the night. What's your guys' thoughts on it?
All I gotta say is Barrial has a chin on him. He was taking some, he was getting pummeled that first round. That second round, he looked really good, though. I honestly didn't think that it was going to go to decision because they're both, they're both landing. But I mean, Oleksiejczuk just did outstrike him by a lot, by like 70 strikes for total and significant. But yeah, that was a really, really good fight. Yeah, but Barrial has a chin on him.
Yeah,
Connor?
banger fight. Obviously, yeah, fight of the night. So, great fight. Also, yeah, Barriolt's chin surprised me. He's been knocked out 3 times in the UFC. I really did not expect that fight to get out of that first round. And I don't think Mikhail did either because, he kept throwing and Barriot was still standing and he was just surprised that Barriot was still standing. And I don't think he was ready to go 3 rounds. I don't think any of us were either. So that was definitely a lot of fun. How about you know?
Yeah, Oachechek was pounding Marc-Andre Barriault in the first round. I think he was putting all of his attack on him, and that showed in the second round because Oleksiejczuk looked dead in the second round. He picked it up back again in the third round, but like I said, Marc-Andre Barriault has a chin. Next fight of the night, we had Kuniev versus Almeida, and let me just say, this was the most disappointing fight on the whole entire card.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
another yawn there.
Yeah,
um,
boring.
Good. I'm glad I put some money on Kuniev before this fight. Made some money on that. He's the underdog, so that was cool. Another short notice fight here. Almeida taking another person taking it on short notice. So I don't know. This card just seemed kind of cursed from the beginning. A lot of people taking it short notice. We had 4 weight misses. So yeah, this card was just cursed.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of weight misses, this
In the
year, I
Paramount
feel
era.
like. Yeah, like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a curse. But yeah,
Someone
this
eating
fight,
that Christmas dinner.
yeah, that
No one
Christmas,
laid off the Christmas dinner.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
they're
that
still
seasonal depression.
still eating those leftovers from Thanksgiving. But yeah, this fight was dreadful. Almeida was throwing at the end though, which was kind of exciting. But yeah,
He
boring.
finally let his hands go and he started landing and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, Almeida focuses way too much on his grappling. I think he lacks confidence in his hands. He finally showed a little bit of his hands at the end of the fight, but it was way too late. Kuniev was pretty dominant. He was the better striker in the fight. He was able to stop most of Almeida's takedowns. Kuniev gets a number next to his name, but what do we do with Almeida now? I mean, he's coming off a fight that he almost beat Volkov. He didn't show wasn't showing the damage. That's the only reason why he really lost that fight to Volkov. But again, no damage this fight, and what are we gonna do with this guy now?
Yeah, what are we gonna do with the whole heavyweight division? Honestly,
Yeah,
I mean, the UFC might they could cut him. I mean, I props them for taking on short notice though. I think that's probably why he took on short notice because he knew he was gonna maybe get cut soon.
I don't think he's gonna get cut. The heavyweight division just stinks, and I think Almeida's good enough to be top 10. But last night just lackluster performance. I thought we'd see a different Almeida after the split decision loss.
Yeah, that short notice really showed again.
Next fight of the night, co-main, Kyoji Horiguchi versus Amir Albazi. What's our guys' thoughts?
Horiguchi is a dog. He was, man. A lot of really good striking. It was, I mean, when it was up against the cage, Amir Abazi just kept trying to get the takedown, and it just wasn't working. Like he was just wasting his time, and then going in that third round, his coaches gave him the worst advice to try to get another takedown to submit him, but Horiguchi wasn't going down. But yeah, Horiguchi masterclass.
Give him ban. Give him ban. He wants ban. Give him ban. I love Horiguchi, dude. He masterclass performance. I I don't think he deserves a title shot, but if they gave him a title shot, I wouldn't be upset.
I think Horiguchi proves that he is a problem for all the flyweights right now. Breaks his hand first round. He says whatever. I'm gonna still throw, and he kept throwing that overhand right, and it hit Albazi. Albazi had no idea what was hitting him. He just couldn't defend it at all. Horiguchi looked very good, and I wouldn't be mad if they gave him Van.
I would love to see him versus Van. Actually, I think that'd be an amazing fight. Let him heal up, and then match make him with somebody. I would not be mad at all if they give him a title shot.
Yeah,
Very
he's got to
very
get somebody
deserving.
top three.
Yeah,
Somebody
hundred
top three.
percent, 100%.
Going into the last fight of the night, we had our main event: Mario Batista versus Vinicius Oliveira. What are our thoughts, guys?
Yikes.
Yikes. No other way to put it. Oliveira looked completely gassed, and he just that's not the Oliveira that we've seen before. He just wasn't doing much, and then Bautista ended up, taking advantage of that.
Yeah, just, Oliveira has to cut a lot of weight for these fights. And this is his biggest test yet, and Mario Batista just shows why he belongs in the top 10, even the top 5, honestly. So just that transition to that rear naked choke was one of the nastiest transitions I've ever seen in a grappling exchange to get a finish. That was crazy work. So yeah, give Mario Batista someone in the top 5.
Yeah, I completely agree. Mario, his back take last night was one of the most beautiful back takes that I've ever seen in all my years of watching UFC. Vinicius, we found out he broke his arm 51 days before the fight. Kind of laid off a little bit, wasn't pushing, but he wanted to keep this fight on. I don't know if I agree with that because he definitely lost stock last night. It was not a good performance. Going
Yeah.
into the second round, completely exhausted. It looks like fatigue on its face.
Yep.
Mario sensed it in the water himself. I think that the
Yeah.
weight cut was a big problem. He cuts 45, 50 pounds for a weight cut. I think we may see Oliveira go up to 145. I don't know how much of the arm break had to do with the more difficult weight class, but what a masterclass from Mario Batista. I mean, he called out Corey Sandhagen. Song Yadong called him out. I think one of those two would be a perfect fight to get Mario in the top 5. I mean, he was on an 8-fight win streak before the Umar fight, and he looked good against Umar. It's just Umar's just a different animal.
Yeah, I think if I gave him anybody, I would give him Song Yadong. I think that would be a very, very good fight, and it would be a tough, tough test for Mario, because Song Yadong arguably won against Sean. I think that'd be an amazing fight. You can give him Corey too, like you said.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
when he fought Umar, he did knock Umar down as well. So I mean, Mario is he's a little underrated, man. Like I
yeah,
said, that huge win streak, including in that win streak, Jose Aldo, even though that was a really controversial decision, but still beating, still on that huge crazy win streak, and then beating another huge up and comer. And we're all huge big Vinicius fans, but that was really tough to watch.
And I think you can give Mario a fight like pretty soon, if the UFC's up to it, because he didn't take a lot of damage. I think you give him a fight soon, and yeah, hopefully this he continues another streak, because that was an amazing performance by Mario.
yeah. I think that we're definitely going to see Mario within the top 5 by the end of the year. If you give him that Song Dong fight, I know Corey wants that Sean fight. Book Mario versus Song Yadong. Give me Mario and versus Song Yadong.
What I'm about to say kind of ties into what we're about to talk about next with our White House cards, but I think what they're gonna do, they're gonna have Mario Batista fight Song Yadong as that main event at McCaw at the end of May, and then they're gonna save
Yep,
Corey
that's
Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley for the White House, and that's one of
yeah,
the fights that I think is on my White House card.
that would be a perfect McCall main event. I love that idea, Connor.
Thank you, thank
So
you.
let's talk about these our White House cards. We're gonna give both our White House card we want for this year, and then on all time the greats. We can put anyone, any era versus each other. Let's start off with you, Connor. All time first.
All right, my dream White House card all time. I mean, these are just not in any order. Like, I don't have like prelims or like. Don't think this is the actual fight order, okay? I just wrote them down as I thought of them. But I couldn't really come up with a bout order. That'd be way too difficult. Anyway, kicking it off, I got Prime Alexandre Pantoja versus Prime Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. In my next fight, I got Prime Jose Aldo versus Prime Ilia Topuria. In the
Ooh.
next fight, I got a Prime Justin Gaethje versus a Prime Conor McGregor. The next fight, I have a Prime Habib Nurmagomedov versus a Prime Islam Makhachev.
What?
What?
Brother, you cannot do that, brother.
That's a little controversial, huh?
Very. It's dream card, dream fight,
Yeah,
dream
yeah, yeah.
scenario. Dream scenario. Dream scenario, next fight. Prime George St. Pierre versus Prime Kamaru Usman. My next one, I got a Prime Alex Pereira versus Prime John Jones at 205. And then this one is very controversial. This is probably my most controversial fight of all these picks. And for my last one, at heavyweight, we have Prime Daniel Cormier versus Prime Brock Lesnar.
Oh man, I love that one.
The
I
fight we
wish that
never
was
got to
able to have
see.
the fight we
Yeah,
never got to see.
fight we never got to see.
I almost had that one on mine as well. I was gonna do Prime DC versus Prime Brock. That would have been all time at heavyweight.
Yep, Evan. Do you want to? Anyone want to go next? We want to talk about some of my fights, or what? What are we
Let's
doing?
talk about some of your fights.
Which ones did you guys
Khabib
find
versus
most
Islam.
entertaining?
That would be
Yeah,
insane.
you're
brother
right.
versus dude. I think that would be just. I don't even know. I think it'd be amazing. Like, I don't have any words for it. It'd just be an amazing fight. I would love to see that, but
Yeah.
it's not going to
Who do
happen.
you guys think would win that?
Islam. I don't know. I don't
Khabib
know.
is.
Who's winning and by what method?
Somebody's getting subbed, or
Oh, you think
or
one
they
of them
like
subs the other one?
yes.
That's
Give
bold.
me Islam by Dars.
Oh,
I don't
dang.
think that. I don't think that. I don't know. I feel like takedowns are going to get defended. We're going to see a lot more strikes than we think that we would see. But Khabib is one of the GOATs. He's top 4 all time for me. I think that Khabib edges out Islam. Because if you think about it, Islam's kind of a Khabib prodigy. If you think about it, give me Khabib, man. Give me Khabib by decision.
The student beats the
Okay.
master. The
All right.
student beats the master. That's what I say.
Okay. All right. I like the different picks here.
I think Islam. I think Islam. By the time he's done, he's going to pass Khabib.
Hot take. I did have
Hot
one
take.
more question for you guys on my card, or two more questions actually. Who do you think would win, Prime Justin Gaethje or Prime Conor McGregor? Since
Prime
we
Conor
never got to
McGregor.
see that.
Prime Conor
Ooh.
McGregor. That's. I think that we can go right into my fights after that, because I also have Prime Conor McGregor on my all-time White House card.
Gaethje versus McGregor. This is how I'm thinking about it. Gaethje hits like a truck, but McGregor he almost got knocked out by Patty, and McGregor is one of the best strikers to ever do it. I think you got to give me McGregor in that fight, but I would not ever in my life count out Justin Gaethje just because he is an absolute machine. So give me McGregor, but I wouldn't count out Gaethje.
Here
Oh
is
wait,
my.
hang on. I had one more. Sorry, no, I had one more
No, you're good.
question.
You're good.
This might be a dumb question, but I still wanted to ask it just to get your guys' opinions.
Okay, what
Prime
is it?
Prime Jose Aldo versus Prime Ilya Taporia.
Ilya,
Gotta
maybe the greatest fighter of all time.
Ilya would
I
kill
don't know. I think he
Aldo.
takes.
Ilya
I
by
think he
round one
takes.
murder.
I think Aldo. Or he takes Aldo's head off.
I
Ilya is
think
scary, man. I would. I would do a better fight for Aldo. I would love to see Volk versus Aldo. I was almost going to put that on my all time White House card, but I did not. I ended up not going with it. But that
Okay.
would be a more. I feel like that would be a close matchup.
Okay. All right,
But
no, how about your card now?
here's my all time White House card. I'm going to start with a heavyweight fight. I'm going to do Cain Velasquez versus Daniel Cormier at heavyweight.
All right.
And then we're going to go. I don't think this is going to happen at the White House card this year, unfortunately. I feel I wish Kayla versus Amanda would happen on that card, but I'm going to put it on my all-time White House card because that would be the
Okay.
number one women's fight of all time.
I like it.
Next, I would go Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Charles Oliveira.
Ooh.
I would love to see how Khabib would go into Charles' guard. I would love to see that happen. I also have prime Alexandre Pantoja versus Demetrius Johnson.
Nice.
I have McGregor versus Ilya. I feel like that would be it would be spectacular. Both of them in their primes.
I was gonna put that one, and then I switched McGregor to lightweight McGregor versus Gaethje instead, and then I added Jose Aldo. I was gonna
Yeah,
do that
that
one as
fight at
well.
145. Oh, that would be a crazy fight.
Yeah.
And then I have John Jones versus someone that we never even saw in the UFC. Give me John Jones versus Fedor Emelianenko.
Ooh. Okay.
And the main fight that I would want to see, like that, my main event would be GSP versus Anderson Silva. I always wanted to see that fight when I was younger. We never got it, but
That would have been your main event.
yeah.
All right.
I like that John Jones and Fedor Emelianenko. John Jones is arguably one of the GOATs. I have him too because he's a juicer, but I think that would be a really good fight. There'd be a lot of grappling, but I think you got to give it to John Jones. Like, I mean, John Jones is like one of a kind. I think
I was gonna have John Jones versus DC. We saw it twice, but man, that rivalry is always something. It would be huge, especially if it was on a White House card. But I decided to throw on Fedor on there to throw people off.
yeah, and with that Jones versus DC fought John Jones. DC said that's the best he's like ever felt, and he lost. I was thinking about it too, but like just looking back, I don't think that DC would. I don't think DC would win. I think John Jones wins 9 times out of 10.
What do you think about Khabib versus Charles? How would that one played out?
Amazing. That would be awesome. Connor, what are your thoughts on Oliveira and Khabib?
I think yeah, it'd just be Habib on top of Oliveira and just Oliveira trying to get submissions off his back. I think it'd be really technical grappling exchanges throughout. It'd be very, very entertaining. I just can't see Charles Oliveira beating Habib. I just can't see anybody beating Habib. It's hard to imagine someone undefeated losing, you know?
How do we never broke this down. We both had it on our list. Pantoja
Oh
versus
yeah.
DJ. What do you guys think about that fight?
I think Pantoja's different. I think that he's a really good striker, a really good grappler, but DJ's really smart. Like he's has one of the best fight IQs I think like of
We've
all
ever seen.
time that we've ever seen. Like the stuff that he was able to do is crazy. I don't know, but Panto is different. That's a really hard fight to assume.
We,
I
we
don't know.
almost did get to see it. If Pantoja had won his season of The Ultimate Fighter, he would have gotten the opportunity to fight Demetrius Johnson, but unfortunately he lost in the quarterfinals, actually. And then Tim Elliott went on to win that season of The Ultimate Fighter, and he got the title shot against Mighty Mouse. So very interesting to note that. And then I do think Pantoja would have gotten the win. I think he fought in the more tough era of the flyweights, and he's been through the ringer of all of them. And I think his grappling might be a little bit better than Mighty Mouse's.
I think
Yeah,
it would be.
because if you think about it, like flyweight is probably the best we've ever seen it now.
Yeah,
Hands down.
Pantoja has fought some freaking awesome, like amazing people. Like the people that Pantoja beat probably would put
Yeah.
up a really good fight against DJ.
You
But
could even
I
argue he's
think
in his prime right now, Pantoja.
I would also agree with Connor. I think I'd lean Pantoja versus DJ. I know that's crazy because DJ
Yeah.
is definitely on the Mount
Oh,
Rushmore of
100%.
UFC fighters.
But I think if they had fought back if Pantoja had won the Ultimate Fighter, I think Mighty Mouse would have won that easily.
What do you guys think about McGregor versus Ilya? What would have happened
Topuria
if
kills him.
both primes?
Topuria kills him. Like
Yeah, but I feel like we're all very Ilya, like we love Ilya on this podcast, and I don't think any of us would pick him against a lot of people.
if it's a 5-round fight,
Yeah.
it definitely doesn't go the distance. Connor definitely would win some rounds, but Ilya literally his hands are literally I touch you, you die. You die. Like I go with Ilya by brutal, and I mean brutal knockout. And the press conference, the stuff leading up to it would just make that fight
Oh my god, the
1,000
press
times
conference
better.
would be Conor McGregor on a mic, like is the prime of the UFC. Is him doing his mic takes, his fight with Mayweather when he had his press conference there. He just gets in everyone's head.
Electric.
What do you guys think about my main event, GSP versus Anderson Silva?
That's my favorite card on your or favorite fight on your card.
I wish we would have got to see that, but unfortunately we
Yeah.
never did.
Never got to see that super fight.
Who wins?
GSP wins, I think. But GSP did get knocked out by Matt Serra, didn't he?
I'm gonna say that Anderson Silva in his prime beats GSP. Oh, he was different. He was just in the flow state.
It just depends what type of GSP we're gonna get. I mean, he could do exactly what Chael Sonnen did to Anderson Silva the first time around and just, wrestle him for 5 straight rounds. And then maybe Anderson Silva gets lucky and locks up a head or what did he get him? What did he catch Chael Sonnen in?
Arm triangle, I'm pretty
Arm
sure.
triangle, yeah. I mean that, or it could just be a striker's delight, and standard Anderson. I'm taking Anderson in this one as I would take Anderson as well.
I go with GSP. I think that he's a little bit more well-rounded, but Anderson, though, that flow state, like Noah said, I mean, it'd be an amazing fight, but give me GSP because he is the greatest UFC fighter of all time.
Oh, all right, Mason, what's your White House card all time looking like?
So I have a few repeats. I'm going to start off with Johnson Pantoja.
Okay.
We already talked about Topuria McGregor. We already talked about GSP Silva. We already talked about. But I do got some other ones on here. I'm going to start off with a smaller fight. Sean O'Malley versus TJ Dillashaw.
All time?
Because I know it's not the first thing you'd think of, but that would be an amazing striking fight. I mean, Dillashaw was an amazing striker. Sean O'Malley is a
one of the best strikers we've ever seen.
And I think that fight would be awesome. Like I would pay $1,000 to see that fight. Like that would be an amazing fight. But I think Dillashaw would get the job done. O'Malley's really good at, evading, keeping distance and everything, but I think Dillashaw, if they did end up getting on the ground, Dillashaw does have the advantage there, but I think he can knock out Sean too. Yeah. What do you guys think on O'Malley and Dillashaw?
O'Malley by KO.
Oh, okay.
I think that Sean's a sniper. and he'd knock out Dillashaw.
Yeah, I think Sean would have the significant reach advantage over him, and he would just pick him apart on the feet.
All right, all right. My next fight, another kind of small fight, Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier. Nate Diaz is Nate Diaz is he
A
just
character.
you guys already know. He's a character. The press conference would be pretty good. And I think that striking would be amazing. Both of them are great at BJJ too. Nate Diaz, subbed Conor McGregor, subbed him. I think that'd be an amazing fight. But give me Dustin Poirier though, because
Oh yeah.
oh my gosh, he's just crazy with his hands. He's such a good striker. But yeah.
Next fight, Mason.
All right. Khabib versus Tony Ferguson in his prime. Both
Oh
primes.
man,
We never got to
gonna
see
see
it.
it. We were gonna see
We
it
never got
until
to
that
see it.
cable.
And then he fought Gaethje, and now he has CTE. But I think that'd be an amazing fight. But I think I think
Khabib would get the best
I
of
think
him.
I think Khabib would get the best of him. I think once he got to the ground, Khabib would know what to do. But man, that would be an amazing fight. I'm really upset we never got to see it.
Any you have one more, Mason, or two more?
I got a few more because we had some repeats, and I knew there were going to be repeats. Tom Aspinall versus Daniel Cormier.
Give me DC. I think that DC would
Yeah, give me
run the
DC
heavyweight division if he was in it right now.
easily.
And then Prime Izzy versus Prime Anderson.
Oh my
We did
God.
we did
saw
get to
that
see
Washed
that
fight.
fight.
Anderson versus
We
Prime Izzy.
Yeah, we saw that fight, but man, if that was Prime, that would be a fun. It would be
Give me
it
Izzy.
would be either really fun or really calculated, like striking battle.
I'll take the guy who knocked out Alex Pereira.
Yeah, I think Izzy is a really good striker, but not GSP. Anderson Silva, I think he would get the job done. I think he would outstrike Izzy, and I think he would knock Izzy out.
I don't know about knockout, but I do agree that Anderson in his prime beats Izzy.
And then last fight, Jones versus Pereira, both primes. I mean, it'd just be a good fight. It's not going to go to decision, and that's why I think it'd be really exciting because Jones never got knocked out, but I don't know. Pereira's just got that left hook, and I just don't know if Jones could take more than 3 of those.
Alrighty, let's get into our current White House card. What we think will happen and we want to happen for this year.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, but Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. I feel like they're saving him for this. O'Malley just fought in January. I think 5 months is a perfect time, perfect layoff for him in between fights. We know that Ilya is going to be fighting Gaethje. That's no secret. This one, I had Cyril Gahn versus Alex Pereira for the interim heavyweight title. I think that's a real possibility at the White House. This one is more of just I want to see this happen. I don't actually think it's going to happen, but Tatsuro Taira versus Joshua Van. I think that's
Ooh.
the fight to make.
I think that could be happening at 327. I think that's going to be our 327 main event. I have a feeling.
Ooh. All right. This one is kind of a long shot, but I do want Conor McGregor there as well to fight Mauricio Hoofy. I think that would be a banger.
Very, very similar styles. I also agree with that, and that's who I think Connor ends up fighting on this card.
Okay, Mason, did you have that one as well too, or no?
I didn't have that. I would want to see him fight Michael Chandler.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
that's the fight that should happen because we never got that tough
Yeah.
championship, tough fight.
Very
But
true.
keep going, Connor.
I got 3 more, and this one I got Yuri versus Carlos Ulberg for the interim light heavyweight championship.
Yes.
Because Yuri's gonna have his baby in April versus right around the time they're having Miami. So I don't know if they're gonna schedule that for Miami. They could be the main event in a May card, but I think they might just be saving that for the White House, which would be smarter to do.
I mean, there's a few cards before the White House. We have 3 cards that have not got any action getting booked really before we'll have the White House card. We'll have 327, 328, and 329 probably before we see the White House card.
Yeah, so it'd be they could easily get scheduled for one of those, but this is just what all I would like to see on this card. This one you guys are gonna hate, and I mean you guys are gonna hate this one. I'm gonna get canceled for this one. But for the BMF title at the White House, I got Max Holloway versus Armin Sarukian.
Love
Okay.
it.
Love
Okay.
it.
Love it.
Oh,
Love
okay.
it.
All right.
Yeah, winner gets the title shot.
Yeah, the winner gets
Yeah.
the title shot.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, and that makes a lot of sense.
It
Because
does.
I
It
mean,
really does.
I mean,
because we already know Ilya and Gaethje are going to be fighting on that card no matter what. You know.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that Ilya does not want to fight in the White House. I think
Oh,
he wants to fight before the White House.
okay. The only problem with that is it's a quick turnaround for Max. You know, he's fighting in March and to come back in June. That's a really quick turnaround for Max Holloway, but I'd still like to see that.
I
Get this
think
done
that
and over with.
Max and Charles is going to be fast though. I think it's going to be a really I think it's going to be first 2
First
rounds and
round,
Max is going to
yeah.
win.
Yeah,
So
probably.
so maybe Max could have that turnaround if his fight with Charles goes, 1 or 2 rounds and he doesn't take a lot of damage.
And then for my final fight, I got Hamzat versus Imavov.
Okay. Yeah. How many title fights do you have on this one, Connor?
I have 2 interim title fights, 1 normal championship fight. Oh, 2 champions. Oh God, hang on. 1, 2. I think 6. Yeah, I have 6.
6 of 7 fights.
No,
Yeah,
five,
I mean,
five, five, five.
yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I think we're gonna see a lot of title fights on this card. I kind of hope not those because I feel like it's gonna weather down other cards around it.
Yeah, they're saving everybody for this White House card, so
Here,
be tough.
I'll
Who
get
do you
into
guys think?
mine,
Who do
and
you guys think?
I kind of have mine in an order too. To start tonight, we have a debut. Give me Gable Steveson versus Derek Lewis on the White House lawn. And then after that, I'm hoping that Charles and Max are able to both bounce back after their quick turnarounds and both be on this card because those are 2 of the most loved guys in the sport. I have Charles. I don't think Charles is going to win the BMF belt, but give me Charles versus Patty as a big personality fight. I feel like that would be a really fun fight to see how good
Yeah.
Patty's grappling is. I mean, we saw his stand-up game against Justin, and then let's see his grappling against Charles. After that, I have the same fight as Connor McGregor versus Mauricio Rufy. I feel like they're very similar styles. That would be a very fun fight to see. After that, I have a BMF title fight. It's different than Connor's, and I have a guy going up a weight class because we've seen that he's a bigger 145 pounder against Max that I think would just be a really fun fight. Give me Max Holloway versus Gene Silva for the BMF belt.
Ooh, okay. Answering Gene's call out.
I feel like that would be a really fun fight to see.
That would be a lot of fun.
After that, I have Gaethje versus Patty or Gaethje versus Ilya. I think it may not happen at the White House. I think they're going to book it before the White House because Ilya doesn't want to be on the White House. But Gaethje's American, man. Give it to the guy from the USA. That could easily be our main event.
Yeah, easily.
And then for the co-main, I have Islam versus Michael Morales.
Ooh.
And then the main event of the show, John Jones versus Alex Pereira for the interim heavyweight championship.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen. I just have a feeling it's got to happen at the White House. If Jones becomes the greatest fighter after beating Alex and Alex beats Jones and gets 3 titles at 3 different weights, come on. At the
Yeah,
White House,
that'd be really impressive, especially against John Jones too.
Mason, what's your White House card look like?
I don't have them in order, but I'm gonna start from I have Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. I don't know how long Kayla's gonna be out for, but I think that would be a good fight to have for the title on the White House lawn.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that would be a really good fight. I also have, if you put Derek Lewis on the card, I think they should. I don't know who he would fight though. I really like the Gable Stevenson thing, or Stevenson, however you say his last name. Um, I did have Topuria versus Gaethje if Ilya does want to fight on the White House. And then I have an Islam title fight. I feel like I remember Islam saying he wanted to fight at the White House, and I think that would be a good time to let him, defend his title.
Against?
And I think if they wait long enough, I think Morales would be a good fight. But I also have Prates versus JDM on that card. But
The
I
White
don't know
House
if
card?
I don't know if that fight would happen before. But it would be a really entertaining fight to watch. I have BSD versus Charles.
That's a fun one.
That's a good one.
That was like, I was picking between Charles versus Patty and Charles versus BSD, and I went with Patty because just he's
Bigger
the fan
personality.
favorite. Yeah, the more fan
Yeah.
favorite.
You have to have Patty on the UFC White House card. He's one of the most popular fighters in the UFC right now, against another fighter that has gained a lot of popularity in the last few months. Patty versus Arman. I think that would be a really fun fight, and that would be a really good fight to have on this card. And then for my last fight, Jones versus Pereira. Jones kind of called out Pereira. I think that you have to make that fight happen.
They both want it. Alex wants that fight too. He wrote down John Jones' name on the tire. Like, you book it. I mean, I know that Dana doesn't trust John Jones to stay on the card and stuff, but just book it. It will make everyone happy. Just please book it. Heavyweight stinks.
And I think if you have Jones in the card, you got to sign Gable Steveson before, because Gable Steveson works with John Jones. I think having both of them on there would be a lot of fun. Not that a lot of. I don't know. I think that
Who would you have Gable fight though?
I think you could have him fight against Derek Lewis. I just don't know how that fight would go, because Derek Lewis just has so much power, but Gable Stevenson is just
Olympic champion for wrestling. It would be the first time that we have a U.S. Olympic champ at heavyweight.
That I just think that Gable Stevenson just needs to get signed soon. And then I had O'Malley and Sandhagen. I think that is kind of a given. I think that'd be an awesome fight, both Americans, and I would love to see that fight. It'd be amazing. But yeah, that's about it for me. I had a few others on there that I kind of crossed off. But yeah, I think that would be a pretty stacked card.
All right. I think that's a good point for us to end the show here. Yeah, next week we'll be back Sunday, and we will be giving our predictions for the UFC Fight Night in Houston, Strickland versus Hernandez.
Peace out, everybody.
Make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube.
Threads. We live thread every round of every fight on fight nights and numbered events. So follow along to our threads, please.
Yes, please. But I think that's a good place to stop, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you next week, boys.
See you.